Well, it is graduation week, and one Bay Area graduate caught our attention here in the newsroom. 13 years ago, we featured a toddler who was in the fight of his life. His mother, news writer Marla Miller, is still stopped on the streets occasionally and asked for updates, even though her toddler is now wearing a cap and gown.
This is how you first saw my son, Will. Hospitalized with leukemia, bald from chemotherapy, weak from radiation. He was awaiting a life-saving bone marrow transplant.
And there's germs out there, so when I get David's bone marrow, I can go outside.
What do you remember about that conversation?
Nothing. I can remember getting shots a few times and taking nasty medicine, but that's about it.
Will graduated from East San Jose's Mount Pleasant High School this week. Getting him here was one wild journey. Will was 2 years old when he was diagnosed. He sailed through 2 years of chemo, but when the cancer returned unexpectedly, we anguished over the search for a bone marrow donor. Thankfully, we didn't have to look far. Will's big brother David's bone marrow was a perfect match. We felt like we'd won the lottery if we could convince a 6-year-old to agree to help his brother.
Even a 6-year-old should have some decision over what goes on with their bodies. And also, I didn't want it to be any cause of resentment for some reason later on that, I got forced to do this.
David was a champ through the whole procedure, which was kind of anticlimactic. Bone marrow looks like a bag of blood and is hooked up like any other IV. So really, it was Will and David's story. Doctors say it's not the cancer child who's most affected by the disease, but overshadowed sisters and brothers. David says many cancer siblings he's known came away damaged. I dreaded to ask. Do you think you're damaged?
No, not much more than the rest, and not especially.
What about compared to the average kid?
I think I am the average kid.
Perhaps it's because they don't know life any differently, and why Will deals so well with his side effects.
5'5".
The chemo and radiation robbed him of height and damaged a muscle in his eye, which surgery corrected. Like David, he rarely mentions his cancer, except once to a teacher.
I don't know, she was shocked, I guess. She thought I would be different, I wouldn't be able to function in society. But I'm doing fine.
And looking forward to college. How would you guys describe your relationship at this point in your lives?
Estranged.
Typical teenagers. And thank goodness. In San Jose, Marla Miller, NBC Bay Area News.
Wow, what a story. Will and David doing very, very well, and so is our beloved Marla, who's right out there in the newsroom right now. Marla, we're proud of you and happy for you, too.